there are two things for sure and one thing for certain. If you mess up, Twitter gonna roast you, and Twitter is undefeated, okay? And unfortunately for Elizabeth Warren, she is finding that out the hard way, and we gonna talk about it. Now, I don't know if y'all know this. Just kidding. I know all y'all know this by now. Elizabeth Warren basically, indirectly, but kind of directly, called Bernie Sanders a liar on Twitter. Or excuse me, on CNN during the debate yesterday. I said, it was about as direct as you could get. Put it like that. Well, she ain't say, Bernie, you're a liar. She was like, I disagree. Like, okay, what about the part where Bernie actually endorsed you before you even announced before you were even going to announce in 2015 and you just decided not to run? No, I just disagree. I disagree, people. What about the part where Tulsi Gabbard was like, I was in that exact same situation and he was super supportive? Well, I disagree with that. What about Bernie's 30 years of women's equity advocacy? No, I just disagree with that. And let me tell you why I disagree with Bernie. I think women can win. That's not what Bernie said. It's not what Bernie said at all. But this is which way Warren, right? Do whatever she has to. This woman can play victim like no other. But a lot of people on Twitter have historically defended Warren. There's always been that caveat, right? Historically, it's always been that caveat of, I like Warren, I just have disagreements, but she's still a progressive. I like Warren, I just have disagreements, but she's still a progressive. Yeah, that caveat, I like Warren, but has turned into some explicatives in some ways that I can't even really say on YouTube, or else I might get demonetized and kicked off. It is not friendly. It's not friendly on Twitter. I was cruising through Twitter earlier today, not even like 30 minutes ago, and I saw this little thing right here. It's my trending. Right, let me see if I can zoom in on this for y'all. What did that say right there? This is political Twitter trending topics. Number 1, Warren is a snake. Okay, number 1. I know what you may be thinking, it can't be that bad, Niko. Like, it was probably like some super short period of time where maybe just a bunch of Bernie supporters were up in arms because they finally saw what happened during the debate. And like, it's not like she's trending in multiple ways, right? Not like Kamala whenever she got destroyed by Tulsi, right? It is that bad. Because the second most popular trending topic on Twitter is Never Warren. And third, which is also probably an indictment of Warren, is CNN is garbage. And most of that is because of how they treated Bernie to protect Warren. Okay. Then CNN is fake news. The top 5 trending topics on political Twitter after the debate where CNN tried their damnedest to help Elizabeth Warren defame the legacy of advocacy, of women's advocacy for Bernie Sanders. The top 4 trending topics on Twitter, political Twitter at least, are all regarding the disdain for Warren and the people who protected her. Now, some people may not think that this is a big deal, but ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you otherwise, because, I was just a young whippersnapper. I was a little tyke. And I remember one time, a long time ago in 2018, or 2019, I should say. See, my memory's already going on me. 2019. I remember there was this candidate. It was so long ago, because she's done and gone now. There was this candidate one time, though, who was on Twitter just as a trending topic. And the trending topic was Kamala got destroyed. And although CNN and neoliberal donut Twitter tried to come and protect her, as they had been known to do back in my day, that woman is no longer in this presidential race. And ever since that day, it's been a long, long time since that day, but ever since that day, Kamala Harris was never able to quite recapture the magic that she had before she got exposed for what she was. That was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. But it was in the same election, so it was not that long ago. We've already seen the way this ends. This happened to Kamala. This happened to Refund Buttigieg. This happened to Warren. Throughout the course of the weekend, there was actually a Refund Warren hashtag that was trending. And after a debate where you had the entire establishment taking your side, you defamed Bernie Sanders' name, trying to drag his name through the dirt after everything that he's done for you and the ways that he's protected you. Not only protected you overtly, but also protected you by omission. And everybody knows what I mean by that. This is what you do. This is how you treat him. And the world is watching. And they have judged you, Elizabeth Warren. And you have been found wanting 20 days before the Iowa caucus. And may I just say, as a Tulsi supporter, I really, really appreciate you exposing yourself at the exact right time for us to unite the movement against the neoliberal establishment and make sure we get Bernie and Tulsi in office. That's awesome. Right before the three most important states, really at this point, the only states that you actually had a chance to win, because nobody else really gives a damn about your candidacy, but those are the states that they've been pushing the most propaganda in for you. Like right before those states, the open primary states, the caucuses that favor leftists generally, like the more leftist candidates. New Hampshire, which is in the New England area, which you hail from, right before all these states. You make the biggest political mistake of your career. And you know what? Although Elizabeth Warren, she probably doesn't remember 2016, right? But you know who do? You know who does remember 2016, everybody? Karma. That girl Karma has not forgotten 2016. Karma was like, I remember y'all, chill, I got this. Don't worry. All in due time, I'ma show up. And I'ma show up right when I need to, as Karma always tends to do. I want to check out real quick a little bit of what Twitter is still talking about. Let's see. I went through a couple of them things. And I was laughing so hard. I went through a couple of the tweets under the hashtag. And I was actually laughing so hard that I was like, man, I'm going to be here all damn day if I don't just cover this. Because they were roasting her, bro. They were roasting. Let's go to Twitter, see what they're talking about. Damn. Well, at least things have changed for her, because now it's just CNN is garbage trending at number 1 and Never Warren trending at number 2. Let's see what they're talking about on Never Warren trending at number 2. Of course, you can find Shoe on Head. See what she's talking about.
I'm allergic. I'm so disappointed in your endorsement of Bernie Sanders for president. Elizabeth Warren is the better choice. I'm allergic to bullshit! I don't know why you would pick RC soda when, like, Coke is right there. I don't understand. Whatever.
Oh, man. Shoe on Head with the hot takes, as usual.
Endorsement of Bernie Sanders for president. Elizabeth Warren is the...
Kevin Harrell, what's going on, Kev? Shout out to him. Warren is a disgusting person to lie like that about Bernie Sanders. Oh, damn. Kevin's black, man. Kevin got black friends, too. Pretty sure his other black friends are not going to like that. Anyone blocking Never Warren people don't get how, but don't. Oh, anyone blocking Never Warren people don't get how betrayed the struggling people of this country have been over and over since the very beginning. These people are not your allies, just like Warren is not a progressive one. Oof. Oof. I cannot believe the most vicious attack of the Democratic primary was launched against my ex second choice, Elizabeth Warren. Mayor Pete and Amy Klobuchar, whose policies I opposed, make political arguments, no lies against people's character. Damn, Warren. Damn, Warren. Somebody just said that Buttigieg and Pete have more political integrity than you do. Oh, this is getting bad. Wow. Peter Dow on Warren. Yesterday, I took some heat from the Warren supporters I respect for calling the statement about Bernie a low blow. At no point did I accuse her of leaking the story, but apparently CNN confirms that she did leak it. Oh! What? That's breaking news because I didn't know that. Did y'all know that? Nobody tagged me in that. What the CNN? She leaked it? Wow. Now he goes on to say, of course, I reject tags like Never Warren, but I will reaffirm my tweet. I don't reject them because they're real. You can't reject. Here's my thing about tags that are organic. Attempting to reject the reality of the moment will lead to the reality coming true more so. What does it say? Most people end up on their path to destiny in their attempts to avoid it. Isn't that how the saying goes? You can't reject it. You got to embrace it and be like, okay, why are we here? Where are we at? And why do the people feel this way? How do we turn this into positive momentum and make sure this never happens to the candidates that I support? But it's already over. You can't change that. Elizabeth Warren is Joe Manchin Democrat. It's true though. I am a man. This is fly tie MMA. I'm a man of emotion. Sometimes I get too emotional about politics. Oftentimes, I can think more clear and be more objective after cooling off. I had a complete night of sleep and many hours to calmly analyze Elizabeth Warren's situation. Still fucking furious. Never Warren. Retweet. You got to retweet for me, bro. You just got to retweet. At least he was honest. Troy Rudd. Went to bed furious, woke up furious. Word of the day, betrayal. CNN is trash. Never Warren. Kitty Farmer Bernie, the original Medicare for All. At For Sacred Hoop. Okay, baller. All right. Never Warren. What is fascinating is how Elizabeth Warren thinks she can lie about Bernie Sanders and act with grace on the debate stage and still win the nomination. She and her Clinton advisors have zero political instinct. Absolutely. Mike Preisner from the Empire Files. Burners, look at what Warren did last night and ask yourselves, who will she throw her delegates behind at the DNC even when Bernie beats Biden? Sanders can actually win the primary and still be robbed by Biden and Warren. By a Biden and Warren deal based on fake unite all wings of the party excuse. Never Warren. Now, here's what Mike left out, and this has been a critique of mine for him for quite some time, as most of you know by now, and this is what most people will leave out. Guess who will actually throw their delegates behind Bernie when the time comes? Guess who would throw his delegates behind Tulsi if the time ever came? Guess who in the future would campaign for Tulsi if the time ever came? Guess who we know would campaign, because she's already proven, for Bernie if the time ever came? The person who everybody had ridiculous question marks about, over scrutinized, question her character despite her actions. Question her character over the words and the conjecture from others. Once again, y'all know how I feel about that. Y'all know how I feel about that. There's a little bit of hint. I don't want to say racism, but I will call it implicit racial bias. You give the white woman the benefit of the doubt, Until you don't, you have to do something like this. And the people of color, you're guilty until proven innocent. Just like our justice system. It's just the reality of the situation. Who is this? Who are you? Class warrior, Bernie delegate. No offense, but they be giving check marks to everybody nowadays. Like, yeah, I'm glad you founded a nonprofit, but like, tweeting never warned does not help Bernie Sanders. Yes, it does. Oh, yes, it does. It lets the establishment know that the candidate with all of the leverage, if he don't win, those supporters are not supporting anybody else, or at least not the person that you thought was going to get the pick. And Bernie supporters have already proven, and I'm still a supporter of Bernie, and I know total supporters already. I know what time that is, but we've already proven we're more than willing to give you the middle finger when the time comes. You want to test us twice? Do you want to test us twice in Milwaukee? Come on, go ahead, try it. See how it works out for you. Try it. We'll happily put our asses to the pavement and campaign for Congress people on the ground, campaign for county commissioners, campaign for city council members, campaign for state legislatures, and give a middle finger to your Democratic nominee. Believe that like you believe in Jesus. And if you don't believe in Jesus, well, don't believe us and see what happens. She goes on to say, what helps is door knocking and phone banking. We have to work with Warren's delegates to win the nomination. Good luck working with Hillary Clinton's former superdelegates to win the nomination. And you let me know how that works out for you, taking centrist delegates expecting them to go to Bernie instead of Biden. Got a lot of respect for people who are on the ground, right? I really do. And this is not a slight, by the way. And I applaud her, by the way, for being on the ground, because she's also on the ground for ranked choice voting according to her bio. But I want to be very clear about something. Being an activist is not being a political analyst. Being an organizer isn't being a political analyst. Being a political analyst doesn't mean somebody's an activist. Being a political analyst or a political pundit doesn't mean they're an organizer. There are very, 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 very few people who are both. I want to be very clear about that. That list is slim. You're looking at probably, you got Fiorella, Pasta, Abby. As a reporter, I wouldn't say she's an analyst, because she's not good at political analysts. She's good at like geopolitical reporting, but not necessarily political analytics. That's a whole different ball game, especially when you're talking about what you need to do to win an election. So you have Pasta, you have Fiorella. I believe that Jimmy would be in that category. I'm probably missing somebody, so forgive me if I am missing somebody. Like, I'm not sliding any truth tellers, but I'm just saying being an organizer and a political analyst is not the same. And then I know myself, obviously, and yeah, I guess that's basically it. I'm just saying, y'all, it's not the same thing. And that's why some people, tweeting never warn doesn't help, based off of this weird non-evidential claim that I'm making that Warren's delegates could possibly go to Bernie Sanders. Now, interestingly enough, if you would have made the argument that Biden supporters at some point will go to Bernie, then that's actually a good argument to make, because for some reason Bernie's their second choice. But Warren supporters are not Bernie-esque people. They're affluent, they're rich, they don't like white men. I don't know what else to tell you. And if they're going to pick a white man, they're going to pick a white man that they can go home to their rich families and say that they voted for. They're not going to pick the Democratic Socialist from Vermont who keeps upsetting the balance of the Democratic Party and brings people along like Nina Turner and Tulsi Gabbard. They don't like them. And you have to understand these things before you make bold claims like that, especially with a blue check mark. I say, bro, I'd be kind of weird. I'm weirded out by who they be giving check marks to. Funny enough, whenever I apply for my check mark, like within 2 days, they stop giving out check marks to people. Not even joking. 2 days. They didn't even tell me why they didn't give me mine. And just 2 days later, they didn't give me my check mark. Funny enough. Bethlehem, thanks for the super chat. I wonder if Steyer will spill the beans. It was worth watching the debate to see Warren keep exposing herself. I was done with her in 2015 and never looked back. 100%. Actually, Steyer apparently he did an interview on CNN about that. He's like, it was the most awkward moment in any political debate I've been part of. Also, and we're going to talk about this later, there's a tweet going around that's saying calling Elizabeth Warren a snake is sexist. And I was like, what the let me hear how they rationalize this. So apparently, and I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. Apparently, a snake is sexist because of Adam and Eve. Copernicus thinker, hire lip reader to decipher handshake gate combo. Man, shit. Hey, y'all throw me like $100 to Patreon. I'll hire a lip reader real quick. I'm gonna figure this out. Hold on. Because I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe when I saw this tweet. Where'd it go? Oh, here we go. So she says, this is appallingly sexist. And Bernie needs to tell his supporters in no uncertain terms to knock it off. Isn't that crazy? Bernie needs to tell his supporters. Bernie needs to tell his supporters. That's so condescending. It is. It is. That's the quickest way to not get any of our support. You know why? Because we grown. We're autonomous. We're individual. We do what we want to. We support Bernie. We support Tulsi. Maybe you're a Yang supporter, but that doesn't mean you're going to do what the hell they tell you to do. Bernie also told me to vote for Hillary Clinton. Ha ha! I know I did do the thing that he told me to do before that. If I ever tell you who to vote for, don't listen to me. And then I remember that Jane reminded us of that. She actually said that again. So I was like, hold up, what? What you mean? It's appalling. Knock it off. Calling her a snake is sexist. So I was like, well, let me just read down further. I mean, snakes, the literal original symbol of why women can't be trusted. And yes, women can also be sexist against other women because sexist tropes are toxic sludge that we are all raised with. Okay, hold up. What the fuck? What is she talking about, y'all? I was confused. I was like, the original. I was like, hold on. This bitch talking about Adam and Eve? She was talking about Adam and Eve. She was talking about Adam and Eve. Eve ate the apple that was given to her by what is described in the Bible as a male serpent. The apple was the original symbol of why women can't be trusted. Not this. Oh my God. Bro. Oh my God. It's the apple. It's the fucking apple. And even still, if everybody just walked around calling Warren an apple, it still wouldn't be sexist. I'm just sorry. Bro. Huh? The original symbol. How many leftists? Does she know anything about the left? Bro, the left mostly is atheists. The left, I guarantee when that thing went viral, nobody was like, oh man, everybody remembers what happens in Adam and Eve. Because every female ever can tell you, every single one of them can tell you that being called a snake as a woman is the most common trope in the history of feminism. It is true. Every female could tell you. No, they can't, and they won't, because nobody has ever thought that ever until Emily Crockett from Twitter just said that. Man, talk about desperation. It was an apple. Okay, look, it was an apple. I said it on Twitter, therefore it's fact. It was an apple. It was an apple. The snake was once again, as described in the Bible, the snake was a male. It was a male serpent. And it wasn't even a snake. It was a male serpent. It was a male serpent who gave Eve an apple that came from a tree. So if we call her a tree, I guess you'd have an argument. If we called her an apple, I guess you'd have an argument. I guess. But she wasn't the snake. That would literally be saying, if you wanted to make that, like that analogy would mean that to make it correct, or that metaphor would mean you had to be saying that she was the snake offering Bernie the apple, right? Not a snake. Like nobody in that damn thing was in that story was stabbed in the back after pretending to be friends. That's what damn sure didn't happen. So I do know that. I haven't read that part of the Bible in quite some time, but I do know that part did not happen at all. So, whoo, baby Jesus. Told y'all gonna be a long ass day, dog. But hey, we gonna knock it out. We got at 4:00 Eastern. I got Justin Jackson coming on to talk about this issue, and his support for Bernie Sanders and that season that the Chargers had. Cause we got to have a conversation about that season. And then before that, I got a podcast with the MCSC crew, MCSC Uncensored, and there will be some clips of Fiorella's take on this as well. And tomorrow we will have Katie Halper on to talk about this too. And we have, of course, more clips about this whole ordeal coming your way today. So thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of Mikasa es Mikasa. Copernicus, Warren equals a female Judas. Bernie is a Jewish carpenter who was stabbed in the back by his own people for challenging the elites. And if anybody has actually read Revelations, not for what it like, it's the whole, fire and brimstone and the fantastic, like the fantasy stuff. If you actually read it for what it is, when it's distilled down, you would actually see what those disciples were sent out to do before Revelation started. Hey, go tell this king, if he keeps spending all his money on war instead of his people, then he's going to be condemned. If this person does not start investing in medicine for his people instead of himself, I dare you, go look up Revelations right now. Go look up Revelation. Not like the Bible. Go to Wikipedia. Google what did in Revelations, what did the disciples go tell the different villages? If you look at the what happens in Revelations, right? The one third of all sea life becomes extinct. We are, I believe now, actually, we're almost exactly at 1/3 of all sea life being extinct, at least by our records. The food, the crops would become poisoned. What is Monsanto doing exactly? What is this chemicals in our food doing exactly? Interesting. The sky will become filled with smog, and the sun will not be able to be seen. Sounds like pollution to me. And the sky will be scorched, which is probably a reference to some sort of major climate disaster, huh? Sounds like just a series of events that would happen anytime before a society has the revelation that they need to wake up, because health, food, climate, which affects, especially back then, your ability to work and things like that, and pollution, those all affect you personally. So now you have no choice but to pay attention. So when all those things happen at the same time, I guess everybody would have a revelation that they need to wake up, huh? And so maybe we should stop thinking about revelations as an ending, and rather, philosophically, a new beginning that happens in every great society? Maybe. I don't know. That's for you to decide. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, always remember more than anything else, find your balance.